Okay, 2055, good luck. So we've not played before, no head-to-head score. 400 games for my opponents, but enough to establish a rating. So he's very consistent, all of them are how you should be. So let's just develop, how do I want to do this? I'm going to stick to the principles of the reti and put the bishop on the diagonal. Quite a flexible opening, you can go this way, you can go London structure style of course. Actually I'm going to do that now anyway, in case he takes, and I'll take back. I've just got to watch out for a bishop coming up quickly. So I think I'm fine to castle here, get that done and out of the way. I'll just click my little heater back up there, but it's actually spring now, it's not too cold. How do we do this? Do I go really full reti on in this way? I think I will actually. Might be a mistake this, but I'm going to stick to the reti principles. It's not really the reti opening now, we've deviated very quickly, but stick to the basic broad principle, get the bishop on the diagonal. I've still got flexibility though. We could go c3 instead of c4 for instance. We can take and trade things off and bring the knight this way. We could, like I said, maybe just go c4 and go quite bold, but I prefer slow steady games generally speaking. Yeah, just bring the knight across. I've just got to be careful now about blundering something with the queen no longer guarding the pawn, but I think I'm alright. And I'm preparing the idea just to push my c pawn forward so it doesn't become a backward pawn. Okay, that might make it a little bit more tempting to do as well. Takes, I think it does actually. I'm going to play c4 now, otherwise the pawn might get permanently fixed backward and become a big target for black. Okay, comes forward, so does it matter if we take here? If I take here, I've got the option to take and open the defences, and that's really tempting. I think I should actually. I'm going to take here and try and bring the pawn across, but it could be beneficial for black further down the road. You know, because you think, well, the king's defences are a bit more open, but later down the line, then the g-file's open for the rook. But that's my idea, is to take here and try and bring this across. And it breaks the symmetry in the position as well. Okay, so takes. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. Now I might take here as well with a view to rook across, but then we've still got targets coming. I don't like the idea of allowing this blast through though, so I'm going to take here as well. Now, rook across is a move. Do I have a move like knight over? We cover the bishop coming down and we hit the pawn. I think it makes sense to play rook across initially. It gives game black a target with queen down. The bishop might come down at some point after a pawn push, so these bishops could be really tricky. I could easily end up losing a rook here. Again, I think I have to go here, maybe bishop down, I'm not sure. Yeah, so this is getting a little bit tricky now, isn't it? I've blundered something, but I've got compensation. So I'm looking at a move like knight up with check and knight across. But it doesn't work though, does it? Check, king over, knight across, rook across. It doesn't quite work. Now I could play rook back, I guess. Knight in back. There's going to be somewhere to win an exchange. Bishop down. Bishop in, trade, trade. Does that make a difference to me? Knight back you can obviously take here, but you can jump in anywho, so I'm not sure it does much. So I'm looking at going this way to activate the queen, but I really need to be in over first. Yeah, I'm going to go this way and create a threat and put pressure on the pawn. If the knight comes in, I might be able to grab the centre pawn. Again, I might have just simply already blundered this game away. It might be already -3 or -4 something. It could easily be very, very bad. But queen out the way, connect the rooks. But ideally, I'd like the knight here first because we're just creating a simple mate threat. So if I bring the knight in first, bishop back, check, king across, bishop takes. Yeah, I need the knight in first, don't I? That's pretty clear. I could play a bishop back here, and if you take either rook, I can take the bishop. Yeah, bishop down actually might be a move here. So if you take here and I take, you can maybe grab here, but no. I think I'm going to stick to this move, hit the bishop, create the threat. But the bishop can easily drop back, or the king's just shifted anyway. But I was looking at whether I can simply grab the pawn here. But it does activate the rook, doesn't it? So it's dangerous. So what about bishop down now? If you take, I take the bishop. But do I just go here instead and just say, well, I'm losing this one, so take and hope we can do this later down the line. Oh, have I just blundered here, mind? Although no, I've still got e4, yeah. But it's one of them games where when it goes wrong, you tend to kind of mentally switch off. You do that in a lot of chess games, and then you lose out on chances that you might actually get. So I think I have to push up now. I just plant this, but the knight's no good there now. But then again, if I have to trade the knight, I'm losing my attacking threat with queen up. Why didn't I take the rook actually? He just hung a clean rook and I just... What the heck am I doing? He hung a clean rook. Okay, he was taking the knight, but... Oh, what the heck have I done? That's when you know... Things are going wrong. So queen up now, you go here. Queen across. That's when it's not your day, is it though? When you just have a rook hanging, you don't take it out. It wasn't a clean rook, it was a rook for a piece, but it meant I could afford to lose my own rook, couldn't I? So I'm going to play queen up and just create a threat and see how you deal with it. Idea being to come across. Okay, has gone over. So let's just jump across and hit the pawn, create another threat again. Bishop back, maybe I can take here. And possibly I'm threatening, actually I'm threatening knight across now to hit the rook and to grab a pawn with check. Now I'm in time to take here, but I'm threatening knight across, but slow, steady for now and take. I'm looking at knight over to attack here, but maybe you can just simply shuffle. I'm assuming that's the idea. In, we threaten a check, but even if you defend now, I check, you take, and I take, right? So doesn't that win the exchange back? I've got knight across here as well to hit this rook, and where do you go? You come back, I can just simply take and fork them, can't I? What's wrong with that? Am I back kind of in the game here, or partially? Let's go here and hit the rook. So if you go back, I think I can just take the pawn and hit the two rooks. Mind you, I'm down under 5 minutes already. And I don't necessarily have an actual mate threat. I'm going to pre-move in case takes the bishop. I think that might actually happen. Then you save the pawn as well. But it's double pawns, are not necessarily critical, but yeah. I'm down a minute and a half on the clock, near enough. Okay, just chooses to come down, so allowing me to take. Okay. He's just resigned the game there. What have I missed here? Why the heck has he just resigned the game? I've just missed... I'm not seeing something that he's seeing. I'm just looking at takes. Well, I'll just put it through the engine and see why he's resigned that one. There might be a threat there that I'm simply not seeing it, but let's just see. So I think we've got a little bit lucky with this one. So 23 moves, and he offered a draw and then just simply resigned. But I didn't see the clean knockout finish there. Let's go back to the final position. bishop to e2, so it's +4 for me. Yeah, so the engine is saying knight across. I'll look at that a little bit more detail a bit later on. I'll just show the principle of this for the time being. So in the final position, yeah, so we're actually better all the way here. So we've actually played it very well. So even though I've given up material, it was actually the right thing to do. See, the whole entire game, okay, the accuracy figures are not brilliant, 75, 71, the centre pawn loss is high, 66, my average is 32, high for my opponent, 83, so not a great quality game. But all the way through this, I'm actually better the whole entire way through, and there's me thinking, oh, it feels like it's going wrong, but it actually isn't, it's actually okay. Like here, I should have just taken here straight away. And then here I should have just taken the rook instead of pushing the pawn. I was a bit annoyed with myself for missing that. But I'm still +1 better. And it was a mistake to take back the knight. Oh, I've just missed a checkmate there. I've missed mate in 2. That's when you know it's not your day, isn't it? I've just missed a clean mate in 2. When he took there, I just take the pawn, block, and it's checkmate. So that's just one of them days where you're not seeing anything. And then, okay, I'm better here, but I still have to see the right line, and my opponent just resigned, so we're rather lucky with that one.